I'm with Dan Rawsthorne of 3 back here at the Agile 2015, the Every Voice Engaged Foundation booth. Dan, tell me about your relationship with the Every Voice Engaged Foundation.
Well, my partner Doug is a certified trainer for innovation games, and we just like the organization. I haven't started doing anything with it myself, and I'm a Scrum trainer, and I think it's really going to help me learn how to be a better trainer. And I think that the Scrum training will match up with it pretty good, and we can do some good stuff.
One of the things that the foundation talks about is solving government, private sector, nonprofit, complex problems using the Agile methodology and those kind of things. Can you give me an example of how Agile over the years has done this with your organization?
Well, about 25 years ago, long before Agile was called Agile in the software community, but the Department of Energy had massive problems of cleaning up their decommissioned nuclear weapons production. And there was just messes everywhere. Nuclear waste is pretty terrible. And I was sent as a decision theorist out to Rocky Flats, which is next to Denver, to help them figure out how to clean it up. And we made a decision early on that we needed to do it in collaboration with the people that live there. It was DOE's problem, but these people had to live with the solution. And it took us 3 years, the way we did it, with open meetings and conversations and interest groups, and it just took us 3 years to do something that this technique, I think, using a number of small teams, could have given us the information we needed in a couple of months. So I look at this and I say, okay, we've wanted to do this for decades, but the reality was that Luke noticing that it should be done with teams and small teams of doing games is awesome. So I'm very interested in seeing it work in the future and solve more wicked problems.
So let me ask you this. I mean, we all know that, in the nation's capital, government seems to be stuck. And it seems like every election cycle it gets worse and worse. I'm throwing you kind of a curveball here. Could the methodologies that you're talking about actually make Congress work better? Are there ways that the methodologies could actually be applied into the electorate, so to speak, to help move the country forward?
Well, it seems to me one of the things that Congress does is has these hearings, right? And the hearings will have 5 talking heads lined up,
right,
answering questions. If you're lucky, they're answering questions. It would be very cool if some of them came armed with information that had been developed through these techniques. So they had actual data and said, well, what our people want to do is this, and what this group of people want to do is this, instead of them just,
What you're saying is that using the methodologies that your company and of course this conference represents, there may be some ways to actually accelerate those decisions.
Right, get more people involved. The thing about agility, and I'm a Scrum guy, so we start off with a small team, but the small team then gets feedback. And the goal is to just expanding the number of people that are involved. And that's always a problem if you do it linearly, because it gets too big. You got 1,000 people. So this technique is a way to expand and scale it in a way that you could get thousands of people involved and not try to do it all at once and actually get meaningful information. And that I find very, very interesting for lots of reasons. One, because scaling is a big issue in all sorts of ways. Scaling development, scaling decision making, scaling everything. Voting is the simplest possible way to do it, but that's just 0-1. You want the left side or the right side? And this says, you got 20 options here, 20 options over here. Which ones do you want to take, which ones do you want to give up? All sorts of weighted averages. It's an amazing amount of data you could chew through this way and get some really good results, I think.
That's terrific. Dan Rawsthorne from 3 back, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.